Okay, let's get into it. We're gonna jump into Florence to the center of the city by going back to the cathedral. Yep. We're gonna be looking at the construction site, the Florence Cathedral and Baptistry. Miss Cortez, why'd you call it a construction site? Remember, at this time, this entire cathedral complex is under construction, and it's been under construction for hundreds of years. That is not an exaggeration. Now, the church that we're looking at will be completed very soon, but it has taken a lot of time, it has taken a lot of money, and a lot of engineering problem solving, which we'll get to figure out how to complete this project. The thing that was completed was the baptistry, right? Down here. And under completion is the bell tower and the main cathedral sanctuary. Oh, by the way, Giotto helped finish the bell tower in the early Gothic, or the late Gothic period. I know. You couldn't love Giotto even more? Oh, he's so great. Anyways, sidetracked. So I want to now call our attention back to the baptistry. Yes, it's been completed. The building has been completed, but it still needs some finished doors. What? Doors? Okay. The baptistry has 3 sides that have double doors. Here, can I get in here really? Let me see if I can zoom in. There's a door on this side, there's a door on the other side, and then there's a door, a third door, that faces out here. Where you would think there would be a fourth door is the back of the baptistry and a small niche or outset. So there's no door there. Now the reason I mention these doors is because way back when it had been built, the idea was to have 3 sets of big, massive, impressive, expensive bronze doors. And these bronze doors were going to be illustrated with stories from the Bible. It's a great idea, but it's very expensive. And this whole entire complex has been problematic and very expensive. And so during the early Renaissance period, there has only been 1 set of doors completed. This one here. It was completed during the Italian Gothic period. And I want to show it to you because it's going to be helpful in understanding what is going to come later. So here is the doors that were completed at the time of the completion of the building. And they're big, heavy, they're laid or they're covered in these bronze panels. And each of the bronze panels depicts scenes from the Bible. Okay, cool. Nice. Now, the idea was to complete the other 2 sets of doors. So who's going to do it? How about we have a contest? That's what they decide in the early Renaissance period. To complete the other 2 doors, and because Florence is rolling in money, and because we want to, as a city, as the people of Florence, we want to show off our wealth. We don't want to have 2 sets of doors that are incomplete. That's embarrassing. We are so powerful now. And so we need to use our power, use our money to complete this project. But we're not going to just pick somebody. We're going to have a contest. So the committee in charge of the construction for the cathedral complex has an announcement. 1 lucky artist will get the commission for the other 2 doors. All artists who are interested must submit a plaque. The plaque is going to look like this. So it's going to have this specific shaped frame, and it must tell a specific story. It must tell the story from the Bible of the sacrifice of Isaac. Now, if you're not familiar with that story, it's okay. We're going to look at it together. But I'm just trying to set up the contest. So any artist interested in getting this high-profile commission that's really going to set your career off, let's see a specific bronze frame submission with the story of the sacrifice of Isaac. Now, unfortunately, we don't have all of the artist submissions. They have not survived. But we do have two very important artist submissions. You want to see them? Okay, here they are. The submissions by the artists Brunelleschi and Ghiberti. And these two commissions, well, I'm just going to tell you, one of them is going to win. Now together, as a class, I want us to look at these two submissions, talk about what's good and bad about both of them, and then I want us to decide who should win the commission for the bronze doors. Oh, I wish we were in class together because I absolutely love doing this activity with you, but we're going to do it in the discussion board instead. So let's talk about this together. We got Brunelleschi and Ghiberti, two exact same frameworks and stories. The story is the sacrifice of Isaac. Now, let me tell you the sacrifice of Isaac. It comes from the book of Genesis in the Old Testament. And in the story, God orders his prophet, Abraham, this old man here, to sacrifice his beloved son, Isaac, as a demonstration of his devotion to God. Now, this is a very difficult task, but Abraham takes Isaac to the altar, the sacrificial altar, and raises his blade to cut his son's throat. And just before Isaac is sacrificed, an angel swoops down from heaven and stops. See how he's made that connection there in the forearm? Stops Abraham from killing Isaac. Now, this story is seen in both. And the story is completed with the sacrificial lamb. So rather than the sacrifice of Isaac, is that Abraham will sacrifice the lamb. Okay, cool. It's a scary, horrific story. And what we have in Brunelleschi and Ghiberti isn't just the story, but also elements which show why they should win the commission. So each of them is going to give us elements of complicated posture or design or movement of the body. Each of them is also going to want to show that they know how to do not just the story, but a surrounding landscape or environment. And they're going to want to show how well they can tell a story. So think of that as their pitch, right? This submission is their pitch. I can do so much. Not only can I tell the story, I can tell it well, and I can show you really difficult things like complicated poses. I can do animals, I can do bushes, I can do leaves, I can do trees, anything you want, rocks, I got it. I am the best for this job. We're going to now look at each of these panels individually, and we're going to see what each of them does similarly and what each of them does differently. And then you're going to choose one and tell me in your discussion board who you think should win this contest and why. And then I'll tell you the spoiler alert and tell you who actually won.